Welcome back. In the previous video, we understood how do we validate the metadata conceptually. As a part of this video, we'll understand some of the hands-on examples for the metadata check. Let's get started. I created a database called validations. Let me get into the validations. Do we have any tables here? We don't have. Awesome. I created a table called salesman, and also I created one more table called customer. In the project scenario, what would have happened is you would have been given a mapping document which explains what should be the name of the columns, what should be the data type of each of the columns, what should be the length of the columns. Assuming that you are comparing these tables with the mapping document, how do you validate the metadata check? What are the different queries you can use? Let's get started. First and foremost thing is we can go ahead and say describe table customer. When you describe the table name, you would get the column names, a data type of each of the columns, whether columns allow null values or not, type of the keys, what is the default values, and if there are any extras. So what you got to do is you have to compare each of them with the mapping document and see whether the developer has created the table as per the mapping document or not. This is one of the high level validation for the metadata. There are a couple of more ways of validating the metadata. Let's look at them one by one. If you want to validate in particular column name and data type, then you can use this query. I'm saying select column name and data type from information underscore schema dot columns. This is the name of the table where MySQL stores all the information of the column names and the data types. Then I'll say where table underscore schema is equal to validations. This would be the name of the schema or the database. Then I will mention table name. Then I'll give the customer. That is the table name. If I execute this, I'll get the details of columns and the data type. You have to validate this against the mapping document. What if you want to know the character length of columns? Then along with the column name, we can also fetch the character length, that is character maximum length from information underscore schema dot columns, and other details remain same. This is the name of the database or the schema and the name of the table. It will give the column names and what is the maximum length of the character wherever the columns are of character type. So length of the characters need to be validated with the mapping document. What if you want to know what are the different constraints in the table and how they're referencing to the other columns and other tables? I'm saying select column name, constraint name, reference column name, reference table name. From the table name here is information schema dot key column usage, and these two information remains same. Let us execute this. Here we'll get the name of the column, constraint name, and reference column name, reference table name. In this case, it is a primary key. That is the reason reference column name and reference table name are null. But on the other hand, salesman underscore ID is a foreign key. You can see FK here, right? It is a foreign key. That is the reason it is mentioned as a customer foreign key. And which is the column it is referring to? Salesman ID. And which is the table this column belong to? That is salesman table. Even the constraint should have been provided as a part of the mapping document. You need to check whether the table is created as per the constraints mentioned in the mapping document. Awesome. We understood how do we validate the metadata as a part of this video. Thank you.